Visitor to the stunning Caribbean coastline of Mexico, and it keeps coming back every year. Sargassum is a brown seaweed that smells as bad as it looks, and hundreds of thousands of tons of it are drifting in from the Atlantic every summer. Experts are warning of an ecological and economic disaster if something is not done. Meanwhile, local people are scrambling to find ways to make use of the seaweed, and they're coming up with some ingenious solutions. The sargassum arriving on the coast affects everyone and everything that lives here. It turns the white sands and crystal waters brown. Then, as it dies, it releases a smell much like rotten eggs. Tourists find the beaches disgusting. Fishing boats have trouble starting their engines. Wildlife struggles and dies in the seaweed-filled water. Huge efforts to clean up the beaches are taking place, but there remains the tricky problem of what to do with all that seaweed. Instead of being wasted, could the seaweed actually be put to good use? That's what Omar Vasquez Sanchez has proposed. The founder of the company Blue Green began experimenting with ways to make bricks from sargassum, and soon he built his first sargassum home.
I decided not to worry, but to get busy instead and turn this into a virtuous cycle. What does that mean? By cleaning the beaches, creating jobs, and starting to make sargassum bricks.
A 2-bedroom, earthquake and hurricane-resistant home can be constructed in just 15 days at a cost of around $3,700. Houses like this could help low-income people to build homes cheaply, not only in Mexico, but across the region. A 17-year-old high school student has come up with another use for sargassum. Victoria Curiel Morfil is making recycled paper notebooks out of it.
I believe the solution to the problem is by supporting small projects using sargassum, like these notebooks, and also pots and bricks. In the future, I see my company selling worldwide, having a factory. We are just at the beginning, and we are already using 200 kilos per week.
An ecological footwear entrepreneur, Jorge Castro Ramos, manufactures shoes from recycled plastic bottles. He has added sargassum to the materials he uses.
Cada zapato utiliza 100 gramos de sargazo.
Each shoe uses 100 grams of sargassum. That's 100 grams of seaweed. It has to go through a cleaning and drying process and a crushing process so that we can make it into what we need to enter production.
Ramos says the shoes, which will last 2 years, can be returned to Renovare for recycling when they wear out. With a portion of Mexico's approximately $23 billion a year from tourism at risk, the government has also stepped in to find a use for the troublesome brown seaweed. The Science and Technology Council, Consejo Nacional de Ciencia y Tecnología, is funding a research project with the Polytechnic University of Quintana Roo to try and change the sargassum seaweed problem into a sustainable business opportunity. So far, several possible industrial uses for large quantities of the seaweed have been identified. The hope is that the curse of the sargassum may one day turn into a blessing.